What are characteristics that come into your mind when you think of ghetto?
When I think of the word ghetto, I think of the bad part of the When I think of a ghetto, it kind of reminds me of a
Of a ghetto is a quarter of a city in which Jews were formerly required to live. The word ghetto was first originated in Italy from the Venetian dialect Ghetto Island, where Jews were forced to live.
Jewish ghettos were originally used to keep Jews safer and was a place for them to live. The use of ghettos by Nazis was to dehumanize them, and it was a temporary stage, and they eventually planned to erase Jews from the earth.
The Jewish ghetto was made up of a poor and crowded place. There wasn't much food, clothing, and disease was common. The water and bathrooms were dirty and unsanitary, and the crowdedness of the ghetto didn't help with the rapid spread of sickness. People were scared of the Germans and afraid to fight.
The importance of the ghetto was to dehumanize the Jews so that they wouldn't become too powerful. Ghettos during the Nazi period were a stage in preparation for the future solution of the Jewish problem. These ghettos became miniature self-contained states.
A few common stereotypes that people have about the ghetto would be that they're poor, they use food stamps, there's guns, lots of violence, high-rise apartments, run-down houses, and saggy pants, but there's also many more.
In the last decades of the 20th century, a large amount of urban areas in the U.S. experienced deteriorating conditions. These conditions include sex and drug trafficking, unemployment, deteriorated housing, poverty, violence, disease, and inadequate education. Students from low-income families often have scored lower on their tests than others. African Americans and Hispanics tend to start school with a disadvantage and usually score 10 points lower than whites on tests according to the U.S. Census Bureau.
I think it's a personal choice because people feel pressure to be with people that are going through the same things and experiencing the same things. And they don't feel comfortable being in a different society where people are more judgmental.
The ghetto started in World War II. The Nazis made barriers to segregate the Jews and non-Jews. Their main objectives were to make them live in extreme housing and isolation. When ghettos started to form in the U.S., they helped newly freed slaves from the South get jobs in the North. They got high-rise apartments for cheap to live in, and it was also known as the Promised Land. Modern ghettos and the earliest ghettos have similarities and differences. Some of these differences would be that they don't have physical barriers anymore, and people aren't forced to live in the ghetto. Some of their similarities are that there is still a lot of violence, and they are still unsanitary. There is crowded living and poor housing. A few elements that the modern ghettos are known for are music, gangs, and pride for growing up in the ghetto. The earliest ghettos were known for violence, disease, and poor housing.
Approximately 1.5 million children died during the Holocaust. They were often the most vulnerable of the Nazi victims. The older children had to take care of the younger kids if their parents were deported.